Hello everyone and welcome back to our weekly Lunch and Learn. You can probably tell I've made a mistake today. I wore green. And that's why my green screen's off right now, because I would be a floating head if I had that on. So guys, bear with us while we learn through these funny little issues that, well, I should have learned by now. I've already had this issue happen before. If you guys remember that original green shirt fiasco, make sure to put a comment there. But thank you guys again for joining us. Today we're going to cover something a little bit different. We're talking about our EVO II platforms, and these are, of course, our small camera models. So the one I'm holding here is an EVO II Dual. This is a thermal and 8K camera model. You can see it's on here with its little lights. Incredible platform, about 40 minutes of flight time, 5 miles of range. Here's the controller with my phone on it. Super easy to use, incredible price point. Just a phenomenal product overall. This is really geared towards inspection, first responders. It's not so much as geared towards consumer use, but you'll see why I really like this for that. I mean, this is an awesome platform. You can see it's actually a decent size. It's pretty heavy for its size, but again, it gets amazing flight time. There's a revised prop version on these now that's a low noise prop, makes even less noise, very quiet. Excellent obstacle avoidance system with all sorts of sensors all the way around. You guys can see them. 720-degree obstacle avoidance system. You guys can see the gimbal there compensating for my movements. Pretty cool. But really what I want to talk about today is some of the new features that were released on this system. The latest firmware update, which is right here, which is version, let me double check, make sure I get this right. This is version 2.6.22, has a lot of really cool new features. And again, guys, as you know, this is live. If you guys do have any questions, please put them in the comments to your right. John isn't on the video this time, but he is answering comments. So thank you, John, for taking care of that. And I'll be taking a look at the comments as well. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about what we're discussing today or anything else, please comment. And if you are watching it live, just go to our website, hse-uav.com, and you'll be able to contact us there. So this latest update, like I said, includes some really interesting new features. So this is just kind of a list. This is from autelsdrones.com. This is from their website. This is where it lists all the updates done to the latest version. Again, 2.6.22. This is for the EVO II Standard, Pro, and Dual model. So first of all, they've added some extra camera features. So they've added raw file format in mission flights. This is a big deal. This is an expanded format that allows for more information to be transmitted if you're not familiar with raw file. This is excellent for mission flights if you're doing mapping or other types of missions that require the most data possible. It's basically an uncompressed type of file. They've also added manual exposure settings, aperture priority, and shutter priority support in AEB mode, so additional camera settings. They've added manual exposure mode support in Hyperlapse. That's pretty cool. So Hyperlapse allows you to do basically a time lapse over time. And they allow for manual exposure mode now. And they've added a quick zoom, which is probably one of my favorite additions here to the Explorer app. So it allows for easily switching zoom levels in the app. And I'm going to show you guys all of this in just a few minutes. And then two, intelligent flight and mission mode updates. So they've added a cruise mode in Hyperlapse. They've added an orbit Hyperlapse. And my favorite by far, which is kind of what I'm going to be focusing on for this video, is the mission recording feature. This feature is awesome. I can't wait to show you guys this. A lot of little bug fixes and stuff, improved autofocus performance. They reduced the minimum distance between 2 points in a waypoint mission, so they can be very close together now. They've removed the boat mode. The EVO II can already take off from boats in standard flights. Pretty cool. There's not a specific mode required anymore. A couple other little things here. Oh, they've added a option to return to home if the aircraft disconnects during a mission mode, so you can choose to continue along the mission or return to home in case there is a disconnection from the controller. Awesome. And to be able to use all of these features, you do have to update the Autel Explorer app as well. If it's iOS, it's 1.9.1, or Android, it's 1.1.7.3 or newer. All right, super, super cool. Like I said, lots of great new features. It's amazing that they can add so much more with just a software update that just takes a few minutes to do. In case you are interested in updating your aircraft, it's very simple. Your controller, once connected to the aircraft, will let you know if there's an update available. The app typically updates automatically as long as you're connected to an internet connection with your phone or tablet. And when you connect the drone and controller to the app, the Autel Explorer app, it will notify you of an updated firmware. You just click on the firmware button. It does take about probably 5 to 6 minutes, maybe a little longer to do the update. So make sure you have a fully charged battery on the controller, phone, and drone before you perform the update, just in case the battery dies while you're updating. You don't want that to happen. So moving on, let's go ahead and talk about some of the new features. So a lot of really cool stuff, like I said, in this update. And again, you can find these release notes on the Autel website in the download section. So let me go ahead and switch over to the app here. Give me one moment. Oh, it disconnected, guys. Hang on. 1 second. Not a problem. There we are. Nice. Hold on 1 second. Let me get that view figured out here. Aspect ratio. Uh-oh. What is this? We don't want to see my face there. Full screen. Awesome. All right, let's go back to the Autel Explorer app. And guys, I do want to show in a future video how I'm actually sharing my screen like this. It's something I've discovered recently that you can do. But what I'm doing right now is I'm sharing my screen wirelessly from my phone to my computer. I'm able to see it on my TV right in front of me. And I was testing this out earlier. It's pretty cool. It allows you to actually stream your video or anything on your phone, actually. In this case, I'm using, of course, the Autel app to a TV or any monitor, actually. And there's actually quite a small delay, and the quality is very good. So it's a pretty cool way to do this. I'll show this in a future video. It's actually pretty straightforward, and it's all with software that's already on your PC and phone. Really cool. So here I am on my phone, and you guys can see it behind me there. As usual, when you open up the Autel Explorer app, you'll be greeted with this screen. You can choose between camera and mission mode. As the release notes mentioned, here I am. Can you guys see me? Oh, getting a bit of a behind the scenes here. Awesome. So, there are some additional functions here for the exposure modes. You can do a manual exposure, and what else was there here? Yeah, quite a few here. Again, take a look at the release notes for all of the camera changes, but really what I'm most excited for is the mission changes. So let's go ahead and jump into mission planning mode. And right off the bat, you'll see something. If we scroll over, we have this new mode, mission recording mode. Super cool. Now let me go ahead while we're waiting on that. Let me check and see. I think I heard some comments come in. Let me just double check. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. All right, actually no comments yet, but we'll keep an eye on them. Okay, like I was saying, right off the bat, we have a mission recording mode here. this is probably my favorite feature. We'll get to that in a moment, but I do want to show you a change that's been added to the Waypoint mode. So if you guys aren't familiar, in Waypoint mode, this mode allows us, let's put the regular map on here, to create a mission that has multiple points. It doesn't have to be a pattern. It can be a point in any orientation. And we can also add points of interest in which the camera will be automatically pointed to. So I'll quickly run through this in case you guys haven't used this before and show you how to do this. So I'll go ahead and hit Create Project. And right here is actually where one of the first changes is, in the altitude type box. So right here we see it's selected to AGL, which is of course above ground level. Now, if we click on that, you'll see there's actually another option here for MSL. Now, MSL is mean sea level. This is your altitude above sea level. Well, you might be asking yourself, well, why would I want to select my altitude above sea level versus above ground level where I'm flying? Well, if you're flying a mission and your terrain isn't flat and you want to fly that mission over and over again, but take off from multiple areas, so let's say you start from one spot and the mission, and you create your mission, everything works well, but then you want to go to a different location that's 100 feet higher than your first takeoff location. Well, if you fly above ground level, the altitude will not be the same for the next mission, meaning, if, for example, if you're doing an inspection, it's going to be a different photograph. But if you fly above sea level, it's going to be consistent no matter where you take off from. So an amazing feature added to this. Now you'll notice if you select above sea level, it's going to give you a warning. You are flying at MSL. Please be aware of what altitude you're flying at. So this is something you guys need to be very careful about. If you select mean sea level, you have to know exactly the altitude that you want to fly above sea level. So if you're in an area that's, 3,000 feet above sea level, you have to be aware of that. So something to be very careful about. This is definitely a more advanced feature. Like I was saying, this system is certainly geared towards a commercial operation, but this feature makes commercial operations that much better. So let's go ahead and hit confirm. We'll use all the stock settings. And of course, with the waypoint mode, we can simply click on the map to add a point, and you can see it's added one there. That's our start. And we can add as many points as we need. Okay, we can also add points in between the points by clicking the plus button. I think that's actually a new feature too. Very cool. At the bottom, we have all our different options. We have our actions for each point. We have our speed, our altitude, and this one's really cool, link POI. And you'll notice at the top it says no POI. Well, POI is a point of interest. Interesting. Let's add a point of interest. Now, if we go back here at the bottom, you'll see the little pin that's selected is our waypoint. And the one that has the little star is actually our POI. If we go, oh, didn't mean to do that. If we zoom in and hit Edit POI, we're able to click on the map and add points of interest. And here's the coolest part. When we then go and select on a waypoint, like number 2 here, for example, at the bottom where it says Link POI None, we can select that and select one of the points of interest that we just created. You can see here's number 1. You'll notice that little cone around the number 2 waypoint is actually the camera field of view. And you'll notice once I link that point of interest, that field of view changed direction and pointed towards my point of interest, which means while it's flying to point 2 and beyond point 2, that camera will be pointing at my point of interest the entire time, even when the aircraft is moving. So it's going to be flying sideways, attempting to point that camera where you ask it to. And you can add as many points of interest as you need. So waypoint 3 could be, for example, linked to point of interest 2. Makes it really easy to do. Right there. So, incredibly straightforward system to use, and it works incredibly well. However, there is a downside to this. The point of interest, you can really only add it by clicking on a map. And, as you guys know, maps aren't always very up to date. Things change, things come, things go. Things may not be there that are currently there now, which is where the mission recording mode really shines. The mission recording mode allows you to fly the aircraft, select points of interest and waypoints while you're flying. So for example, let's say you're doing an inspection job on a power line. You could fly from pole to pole, post to post, or pylon to pylon, and click the camera trigger, take a photo of that pylon, and it's also going to record the flight operation as you're flying, which means you'll be able to play that back and actually fly the drone automatically again and again and again autonomously. Such a cool feature. So what I'm going to do now is actually I'm going to go back to one of Autel Robotics' YouTube pages, and I want to show you guys this operation in action. And if you guys haven't seen Autel Robotics' YouTube channel, I highly recommend checking it out. They have some really great videos on how to use these systems, all the latest updates every time one is released, and all kinds of features that, frankly, a lot of them I didn't know existed. So I've learned a lot from watching this. They have tons of great videos. So I do want to go back to here and show you specifically this function. So let me switch back here to my, there we are. So here I am on Autel Robotics YouTube channel. You guys can see it right here. Autel, oh, you guys can't see it actually, hang on. Here it is, Autel Robotics. And let's go ahead and watch this. This is a really, really cool function. Oh, guys, hang on, my computer's lagging. There we are. Now, I am going to skip over to the mission recording mode. Actually, let's watch the Msl Altitude here because it is pretty neat to see. So let's go ahead and
added the
back.
Msl Altitude option. So instead of using AGL altitude readings, you will switch over to MSL. There will be a warning prior to switching into that mode. That way you are aware that you do have to know your MSL altitude before going out into the field.
Right, and like I mentioned earlier, this is absolutely critical. There's a lot of different ways that you can determine MSL altitude. There's charts, there's apps available for your phone, etc. that will tell you exactly your MSL altitude at your location.
And lastly, we introduced the mission recording mode. In this new mode, you will be able...
All right, so this is the mission recording mode that I showed you guys at the beginning. So right now you can see he's in the mission mode in the app, and we're clicking on the recording function. So let's go ahead and watch this.
To capture waypoints in real time using the shutter button. Anytime that you press the shutter button, you will record your camera angle as well as the GPS coordinates of that picture.
And one more thing, guys. Fairly self-explanatory, but the shutter button is the button on the controller right here. I believe you can also hit the button on the app as well. It does the same function.
Camera angle as well as the GPS coordinates of that picture. In mission recording mode, all of your waypoints are going to be recorded in MSL, which is mean sea level. This is a huge advantage when you're on site because it allows you to take off from anywhere and not just the original takeoff point. You'll now be taken to a screen where you can preview all of the images that you recorded. Up in the top right-hand corner, you'll have three different options. The first one is to be able to see a preview of all of the images you took. The second icon will allow you to preview all of the images one by one. And the last one will compile all of the images into the actual waypoint mission that you'll be able to upload. In most use cases, this is going to be easier than planning your standard waypoint mission. Mainly because you're able to see the shot that you're going to get in real time, as opposed to just seeing it on a map.
So let me pause right there for a second. And that, what he just said, is really the absolute key of this feature and really adds a ton more value to this drone and what you can do with it. By being able to see the image while you're creating your mission, that makes it that much more accurate. It allows you to get that much closer to objects. It allows you to repeat the mission, and especially for inspection jobs, this is absolutely awesome. As you guys saw, it allows you to preview all the images before you actually create the mission. So once you're satisfied with all the images, and you can do it a couple times and as many times as you need to get it right, once you get those images right, you save that flight, you save that mission, and you can just play it back to back to back by having the drone fly that mission automatically and take those images automatically. Because every image that it takes is geo-referenced, and it knows the angle of the gimbal and the position of the aircraft and everything, and it's going to play back that same mission over and over again. And in mission recording mode, it is saved in Msl Altitude, so it doesn't matter where you take off from, it's always going to be exactly the same. Really cool feature.
For instance, if you have a recurring building inspection, you can go out and fly a recording mission, know the shots that you need to get in real time, save that mission, and upload it as many times as you need. That wraps up our
So again, that's kind of what I was just explaining there. I mean, an awesome feature for inspection purposes, especially. Also, recurring surveillance purposes. Makes it so simple. Basically makes it so that you don't have to operate the aircraft, and you have a guarantee that every image is going to be exactly the same over and over and over again. And this feature works with, I believe, both the thermal and the standard camera, both the 6K and 8K models. And it is just awesome to see that type of implementation put in with just a simple software update and available to all the different models. And like I said, if you guys want to learn more, check out this video because it actually goes over all of the different new features. So again, the orbit hyperlapse, the cruise mode and manual hyperlapse. So this is actually kind of cool. I will show you guys this real quick because this is also a pretty neat
Next,
feature.
we did introduce a couple of different changes in manual hyperlapse mode. First, we introduced what's called cruise mode. That allows the aircraft to just go in a steady direction at a speed of up to 5 miles per hour. That way you can focus on just working your different gimbal settings. We also introduced manual exposure in your hyperlapse. That way you can set all of your different aperture, ISO, and shutter speed settings.
Again, this is just going to allow a lot more flexibility in terms of the camera settings and modes. Really, really cool. And one last thing I do want to show you guys, and I think I'll be able to show you guys on my actual, oh yeah, of course, let's not forget about the RAW.
Next, we added a couple of different options in your planning itself. We added the option to have the aircraft return to home if there is an RC disconnection. So now instead of completing the mission, you can have that aircraft return to its home point and automatically.
This is definitely something I'm going to enable. Anytime there's a loss of link for my aircraft, I always want it to return to home. So it's great to see that they've enabled that feature.
Land. And we also added the Msl Altitude.
All right, well, we already saw that. So let me go back here and let me just make sure we don't have any other. I'm going to go back to my display here. I want to show you guys a couple things before we wrap this up. And again, guys, if you have any other questions, please, please, please make sure to comment below there. Let me know if there are any questions. And let's move back to our app here. And let me just check a couple things here while we're on it. Awesome. Jared, I see a question here. So with mission recording, I can finally create a polygon with the Evo that will record video instead of just pictures. So I believe you can use the mission recording mode to record a video the entire time, but typically, John, there it is, check chat. Thanks, John. It's on my phone, so you guys can see my messages there. In mission recording, I believe you can also record videos, but typically, let's see, I think you can do both, Jared. I'm going to have to test that. You can record videos or take images, but if you want to fly a polygon mission where it's flying an area, it's typically going to just take images because it's designed to be processed with a orthomosaic type map. I hope that kind of answers that. And I will double check on that as well. But one of the last things I do want to show you, one feature that I really like that they added, is, let me go back to the camera. We don't have to save that mission. Let's go back to camera. Here I am, right over here. Hey guys. Oh, hang on. Let me just point this up. There I am here. You guys can see my studio. And one thing I do really like that they've added is at the bottom here, you'll notice there is our zoom function here, digital zoom, which has, of course, our different options. They've added an easy way to zoom in and out. So you can tap on the screen here to zoom. Oh my goodness gracious, that's way too close. That zoom is too good. Let's go back out. When you're in, go back. Oh, I'm in video mode. Let's see. Let's go to, hold on.
Start recording.
There
Stop
we go.
recording.
Hold on one sec. Am I in the right mode? Yeah. Intelligent flight. Okay. So when you're in this zoom function, you can use, put this back down. You guys can use the dial over here. You guys can see it up here too. This dial to zoom in and out, which I really like. Makes it a lot faster. Look at that. My goodness. 8x zoom, and I mean, I'm right here. Can you guys see me there? Hello. That's a little too close for comfort, huh? There we are. So again, I'm zooming in and out using my dial. Great feature I like that they added, and makes it a lot easier to use. So really, that's all I wanted to share this time around. Let me go back up to a normal looking video here. That's really all I wanted to share this time. Again, I love the fact that they've added so many incredible new features into this system and have made it just a simple software update. The mission recording mode is absolutely awesome. And all of the new camera functions are as well. Again, they've added new modes like the, I haven't even tried the Hyperlapse orbit mode, but I'm excited to do so. And I'm sure that this system will continue improving with updates. So again, guys, if you are interested in this system, make sure to check us out, hsc-uav.com. These are really, really great priced light commercial duty aircraft that are just absolutely phenomenal. We've been putting so many hours of flight time on our little dual model here with the thermal camera. This is a 640 by 512 resolution thermal camera, which is just incredible for a system this size and at this price point. So if you want to learn more or get a price or order one of these aircraft, just visit us right here, hsc-uav.com. Again, guys, I do want to thank you for joining us on our weekly Lunch and Learn. Again, every Tuesday, noon Eastern Time, we're here to answer your questions and cover new topics. Again, one of the future topics that I will cover is to show you how to set up this automatic wireless streaming from your phone to your computer so that you can view it on a big display. Thanks again, guys, for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.